Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Clark, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own pixel art so that you can write your own questions. And as people answer your custom questions, pixel art pops up a little bit at a time. Let me show you what I mean. So as people answer the questions little bit by little bit, it's going to pop up. It's really fun. It looks like magic, and it's going to make your design. So you can use this video to help you with your own design, but if you go to the link in the description, you can get this exact design, the 2022, perfect for New Year's or January. And let's go ahead and get started, and we'll code this one together. The first thing that we are going to do is come up to the percentage thing up here. Change it to 75. That's how I like to have it, so I can actually see everything on one screen, and you can play around with that. Now, we're going to be writing our own questions and answering them so that if someone answers your question correctly, the pixels will appear. You get to choose your questions and your answers, and you do that just by clicking and typing. And it is good to pick questions that have one answer and are not open to interpretation so that it works well with the code. But go ahead now, pause the video, and write in your questions and answer them. Okay, now that we have our questions and our answers, we're going to talk about the coding. We are coding the answer boxes only. So you don't need these anymore. We're writing a code for the actual answer. When we code, we have to tell the computer three things. We have to tell the computer the column of the box we're coding and the row of the box we're coding so that the computer knows what box you're talking about. And then the third thing is you have to tell the computer what the answer to your question is, because they know if someone types in Mercury, for example, yes, I'll activate the code. But if they type in something else, it won't work. So again, you're telling the computer the column and row so they know what box, and then you're telling the computer what needs to be in the box. So 9 or 50 or Broncos or whatever you wrote for your answer. When I say column row, think about if you've ever played the game Battleship. You might not have, it's kind of an old game, but you tell your opponent what peg you're talking about by telling them the column and the row, and then that allows them to figure out what you're talking about. So every single box in this spreadsheet has a column and a row, and that's the box's name. So this box here is in column B. All of these are in column B. And the row, come over here, it made it darker for you. The row is 4, 5, 6, and 7. But when you're naming this box, you just use the first number. So this box is called B4. So when you're writing your code, you're going to tell the computer that B4 needs to have 9 in it. And this one is B8, and it needs to have 50 in it. This one is B12, and it needs to say Broncos. So that's all you're doing. You're telling them what box and what needs to be in it. Let's look at the actual code now. I highly recommend that you write this down. It's right here. It is equals $column, $row equals answer. So the equal sign and the $, you just have to type those. You have to put them in. And then where it says column, you're going to put B, because all of these are in column B. And then where it says row, you'll put the row of whatever box you're coding. So for this one, it would be 4. And then for answer, you put in the answer that you had. So let's go ahead and try one. I'll show you what I mean. We're going to open up the coding window. So click on Format. If you don't have this window, click right there. Click on Format and come down to Conditional Formatting. And this is the coding window, and you can open it up the same way that we just did. Okay. This is what it looks like when it's open. We're going to be coding this 9 box. Let's see what color we want to work with. We have 3 golds. Let's do the light one. That one's easier for me to see. So before I start coding, I want to find that color in the paint bucket just so I know which one it is. So I'm just going to click on it and look at it. It's the first custom color. So that's important to me just to know which one it is. All right, now come click on the box you're actually coding. Remember, we're coding the answer box only. So we're going to click on this one. It popped up like this and it turned it blue, but we don't want it to turn blue. We want it to turn that color. So come down and pick the color you actually want it to turn. And now we're going to write the code. We're going to click on Format Cells here. Come down to custom formula is. And now we're going to write that code. So it's equals $B, because that's the column of that box. $4, because that's the row, equals 9. You'll put whatever your answer was. If it's a number, just put it in there. If it's a word, you have to put quotation marks around it. Okay. Technically, this one is now done. This box has been successfully coded. You can see that code is over here. Click off, it's not there. This box, yes, it's coded. I coded that, basically I said, if there's a 9 in that box, I want you to turn it light gold. And if there's not a 9 or there's some other number or whatever, don't turn it light gold. So the code works. But obviously we want to bring along some of these other pixels for the ride. So we're not writing a code for those pixels, we're just attaching them to this. To do that, I opened it back up. I'm going to come up here and click apply to range. Slide this over. So the range is how many of these pixels do you actually want to turn light gold. We already have that big box in there. And now I'm going to add some, but not all of the rest of these. To do that, I'm going to hold down Control, or you can hold down Command if you have a Mac. And I'm going to just click on some of the light golds. I am not doing all of them because there's only a few colors and there's a lot of questions, and I don't want the whole picture to pop up super early, but I'm going to pick some of these light golds. If it's hard for you to see exactly what color's what, there's 3 colors. They're a little bit similar, but if you do make a mistake, it doesn't really matter because it's all just shading. So it's still going to say 2022. It's still going to look nice when you're done. But if you do, say, click somewhere you didn't mean to, like that, keep holding down Control, just click it again and it'll take it off. You could also go find the pixel and hit the trash can, but that takes a while. When I'm done, I am going to do 3 things. I'm going to hit OK on the range to say I'm done with that. I have to come hit done on the code to finalize it. Step 3, very important and easy to forget. I need to come up to the paint bucket and click reset. Okay, that makes it so that those will actually turn white if I take the 9 out. Now let's test it. So click on the 9 and hit delete. And then if you put the 9 in and click off of it, it should pop back up and it's complete. Great. Now we're going to do a different color. We'll leave some of those light golds for later. Delete that box. I did not delete the code. It's still there. But I don't want to keep that box in there because then I'll be confused about which ones I've done and which ones I haven't. Now we're going to code this box. But first, let's pick what color we want to do. I'm going to do some of these dark golds, not all of them, but some of them. So real quick, I'm going to click on this and just figure out where it is. It's the 3rd one in. Okay, now remember, I have to come back and click on the box I'm actually coding, which is this box. I'm going to come over here and hit add another rule. Or if you accidentally close this, just come up and hit conditional formatting again. And you can see I'm coding this one. I'm not coding that one. That one already has one. I'm coding this box. Add another rule. The first thing I'm going to do is pick the color I want it to turn. The second thing I'll do is click here, come down and click custom formula is, and write my code, telling the computer the column and row of that box and what the answer needs to be. In my case, it's 50. So equals $B, that's the column, $8, that's the row, equals 50. That's the answer to my question. The code is technically done, that box is coded, but I want to bring along some of the pixels from the actual artwork. So hold down Control, because I don't want to lose that box there. That one has to stay selected. If I don't hold down Control, then when I click to add something, it's going to take away what I had before. But if you hold down Control or Command, it lets you add without taking away. And you can see all these blue boxes around here selecting more and more for the range without losing anything I clicked before. I'm not doing all of them because I only have 3 colors and I have a total of 9 questions. So if I did all of everything, the 2022 would pop up and there would still be questions left to answer. So I'm just doing a little bit so that there's more for later. When you're done, you can take your finger off of Control and do your 3 steps. You're going to hit OK, done, and remember to come up to the paint bucket and hit reset. Click off of it because everything's still selected. Then we'll come up and test it by hitting delete or backspace. And now let's test both of these. Answer it and click off. You have to click off of it in order for the code to activate. There we go, looks good. Delete those answers. Don't delete the code, but delete the answers so that it doesn't get in the way and confuse us. For this one, I'm going to do this medium gold. So let me look and see what it is. It's the second one in, okay? Now I have to remember, super important to come click on the box I'm actually coding and click add another rule. First step, come down and pick the color you want it to be. There we go. And then click here and come all the way down to custom formula is. And again, we're going to tell the computer the column and row of that Broncos box, and we're going to tell the computer that someone needs to put the word Broncos in it in order for it to activate. So $ equals $B, $12, because that's the row, equals Broncos. Now you may remember hearing me say that if the answer is a word, it has to have quotes around it. So let me show you what that means. I need to put quotation mark at the end and the beginning, just like dialogue when someone is speaking in a book. There we go. And it changed color to show me that it worked. Great. The code is written, it worked, but now I'm going to add to the range. Holding down Control, because I don't want to lose the box that's already selected, which is the Broncos box. And now I'm going to pick some of these to add along for the ride. There is as well a video underneath, over on the right-hand side, underneath the coding window. It's called Common Mistakes with Pixel Art and How to Fix Them. And it'll show you what to do if you leave out a pixel or you accidentally didn't make the answer box turn colors, turn the right color, things like that. It'll show you how to fix 5 common mistakes that people usually make when they're starting out. So don't worry, if there's something that's not quite right, you can watch that video, it'll show you how to fix it. All right, this is a good amount of these. Didn't want to do them all. I'm going to take my finger off of Control and do my 3 steps. Hit OK, hit Done, reset the paint bucket. And now we can test it. You don't have to test every single box every time, but I like it because I can see that the entire picture is formed. Do one more here and then I'll do it a little faster. So at this point I've done every color once. I'm going to do every color a couple more times because I still have 6 questions to go. So it doesn't really matter which one I do. I'll do this one. Remember it's the first one. Click on the box I actually want to code, which is the Mercury box, and click add another rule. I'm going to pick my color first. I was just looking at it, it's good. Come down here and hit custom formula is. So equals $B. It's nice that these are all in column B. $, let's see what's the row here, 16. Equals Mercury, and remember I have to put it in quotes. The capitalization doesn't actually matter. It's a proper noun though, so it's good to capitalize. You do have to put it in quotes if it's a word. All right, code works. I'm going to come up here and add to the range, and I'm not going to do all of the light golds because I'm going to do the light gold. I'm going to do all these colors 2 more times because there's 3 of them, and I have 6 left to go. So I won't do all of it. Boom. Just a few. It's kind of fun if you just do a little bit also because then the picture is popping up a little bit by a little bit and it's more of a surprise. All right, take my finger off of Control and I'm going to do my 3 steps. Try to remember what they are. Okay, done. What's step 3? Paint bucket. All right, I'm gonna speed it up now and code the rest of this and then we'll take a look at it at the end and see how it looks. All right, we are all finished, and we know we're finished because there's nothing there. All the pixels are gone. And also because as you cycle through these boxes, you can see on the right that the codes are popping up in that coding box. If you left any pixels out, watch that video. It'll help you with any troubleshooting. Let's close this box though. Here's the video I'm talking about. It's called Pixel Art Common Mistakes. It has a gingerbread on it, so that should help. All right, so now we're going to test it and see how it looks. And there we go, there's our 2022 already encoded with our own custom questions. Remember that this video here will help you with any issues you might have had, and that this just takes practice. So I hope you stick with it. And if you want to get this exact template, click on the link in the description below, or you can buy the 5-pack that has balloons and confetti, fireworks, and a party hat. So have a great day. Thank you for watching, and let me know what questions you have.